welcome back to another video. My name is Tim Bullock, and today we're going to be talking about the marketing pyramid, not mid-level marketing or pyramid schemes. We're talking instead about the 60-20, 17-3% of your target audience market, where 60% don't even know that they have a problem. 20% are problem aware, 17% are in information gathering mode, and 3% are buy now. I learned this concept from Sari Subi of King Kong. I think he's one of the best marketers of the 21st century, in my humble opinion. But today I want to talk about why your advertisements need to be centered towards here and less here. Okay, so the reason I say it needs to be less centered than here is the only traffic that you will get from this that is good traffic would be Google, and to a lesser extent Facebook. Now the reason I say that is, let's say you are a local service provider. The likelihood that I am going to be searching for your product or service on Facebook when I am in buying mode is very, very, very low. I am not looking for plumbers on Facebook. I'm not looking for roofers on Facebook. I'm not looking for carpenters on Facebook. Instead, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to say carpenters near me. Literally the keyword carpenters near me, or carpenters near Dayton, carpenters near Cleveland, carpenters near Indianapolis. Okay, so when you have then 100 service providers, and let's just use electricians, when you have 100 electric companies all advertising to the same 3%, it is a nightmare, especially if that 3% is looking for the exact same service, basically, which is, I want you to do residential lighting, or I want you to fix the commercial electric wiring in my commercial building, for example. Right? So that's when people go into Facebook, because I'm going to offer to the 3% my offer. But what they don't realize is people have been burned so many times with digital marketing that this does not equate to you getting more booked calls, right? So one of the things that I recommend you do is you have a dedicated landing page, because if you do what Facebook tells you to do and just do instant forms where they call you immediately, people will butt dial you, people will say, oh, I never filled out that form, stuff like that, right? So you want to weed those people out, because every time Facebook is going to cost you for that person filling out the form. You do it by impressions, all right? So when you're targeting the 3%, you have to be the difference, right? Usually it's with Google, and that's why Google's cost per clicks are relatively high, right? So then how do you target the 17 and 20%, right? Well, the 17% are in information gathering mode. So that's pretty easy. If you want to target that 17%, those guys are looking for information. So again, if you are, I'm going to just go with a carpenter, for example, and let's just say you do decks, okay? So in 70%, they know they have a problem. All right, so you don't need to be like, do you have a deck problem? No, just say Dayton residents, Washington, D.C. residents. Does your deck have these 8 warning signs of decay, or something along those lines of interest, right? You want to generate interest. You want to generate curiosity, intrigue, right? Because people will be like, wait, does my deck have these 8 problems or signs of decay, right? So how does this look, right? Well, you make the ad. So let's just do it. Ad, right? So they see the ad, headline, and copy, right? Okay, so they see the ad. Let's just do Facebook, simplistic purposes. All right, they see that ad. They're intrigued. They're curious. They want to know, okay, is this legit? What is this about? I want to read more about it. So then you go to landing page. And you use the same headline. You write then a subhead, and you get name, email, phone. Okay? You don't have to get their phone number, but it's recommended. So I'm just going to circle that just in case. So like if you're a life coach, a consultant, you don't have to get the phone number per se, but it makes it higher quality lead. I personally recommend you do. On my website, I do both. Just test. Always be testing. Okay? So you get their name and email. This is what a lot of people forget sometimes too. Thank you, Paige. Thank you. And then immediately, that's when you're going to go into your offer. So you have just secured 17% and the 20%. So immediately your target share now is 37% plus that 3% that is looking equals 40%. Much better than just 3%, right? So when you're starting to advertise, keep that in mind. Well, now the question is, what do I do for Google and Facebook ads, right? How should my copy look? How should my ads look, right? So with Google, I'm going to change markers just to make it easier for you. For Google, I would recommend these two. For Google, this and this. Facebook and Google. Alright, so for those two, that's how I would recommend you do it personally. With this, another thing to keep in mind too is if they are unaware of their problem, your copy will need to be a little bit longer and you'll need to go more into depth about the psychology behind their problems, right? So you might just simply raise the awareness of the problem by just asking them, do you have a deck problem? Do you have a roof problem? Is your floor leaking? It's that simple, and it's just like, yeah, my toilet's actually leaking and I can see it in my basement, or something like that. Then they immediately move from problem unaware to problem aware. And then your ad can continue. Think of your ad more as selling the click to the landing page. Your ad is not to sell the service. So don't say you have a problem with your toilet. Just say, or do you have a problem with your toilet? We are offering blah 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 blah, because then you're targeting that 3%, and that's for Google. But if you're doing Facebook, it's more of, do you have a problem with your toilet? Well, here are the 10 signs you need to look for bad plumbing before your toilet starts malfunctioning. Click here to learn the 10 ways your toilet might not be working, for example. So that's about it. Me personally, I love the 17% who are in information mode, because those guys are going to consume a lot, and that's where you can build a lot of know, like, and trust with them with email marketing with follow-up. So when they input their information and you follow up with them daily, or you follow up with them basically 5 times a week, for example, you will get a lot of customers through that, because no one else in your local area probably is doing email marketing on top of running ads. Because normally what I see with businesses is they're just running ads and it's just to get calls, which is good. But if you want more leads and more sales, it's about that nurturing of that 20 to 17%, because these two subgroups are not going to immediately buy from you. Then unless you are very compelling and convincing, and or you already have an ad agency doing this for you, these two will not immediately book. However, they will book if you are on top of their mind by constantly emailing them and giving them an insane amount of value, telling stories, and selling on every email. That's the thing. You want to sell on every single email. Don't just say, I hope this was helpful, because like if you are, especially like the service provider, you will not be able to provide value to someone, especially if they want it done for them. Like the done by yourself, totally fine. The problem is it's not going to work with the people who want it done for them, and most likely your customers are not going to be the people who do-it-yourself project types. They're not going to be your customers, unfortunately. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please like and share and subscribe. If you need any help with your advertising, visit my website, www.neighborhoodnights.com. And I hope you have a fantastic day. See you guys.